The last time we had a fault with the gear lever, there's a lot of play in it, and you can see here now there is still a lot of play in this, and that is actually because of the joints that are underneath, not because of the transmission by the looks of it. But I'll come back to that in a minute. The other issue was a misfire, and as soon as it started up you can hear the misfire. So just listen to this and you'll see what I'm talking about. But also, just before we get into that, you can see that I have run a scan tool, a diagnostic test with the scan tool. You can see we've got 3 red highlighted on here. If I give the list so that we can see the list, you can see on here that down here, most of these are stored. But if I scroll down to the bottom, you can see that we did have, this one was current. Probably not current because the engine's turned off, but there's an oil sensor fault. So unit pump number 4 was faulty too. So let me just run this through and we'll show you what's going on. So let's start this up. There we go. Now, if I actually put it down here, you can hear that the engine's hunting. Not necessarily hunting so much as it's got quite a sharp cat. You can hear that? So if I rev it up, you can hear it really struggles to rev up. Hear that? Right, let's just come down into here. System topography. So MR is the engine control, and if we enter into there, it's on that one. Wait for it to start. There you go. Now I'm going to read the fault code now. Here it is. The idle pump of cylinder 4 is current again, so it's got a current fault while running. So go back out of there, go to actuation test. We're going to go to a cylinder cutoff test, and we're going to say okay. We're going to use the new interface, absolutely. So here is all the injectors. What we're going to do is turn them off one by one, and you should hear the engine die down if the cylinder is working. So you can hear it's hunting, so that's what it's going to do. As soon as you turn it back on again, it's working. This is backwards, by the way, off and on. So do it one by one. You can hear this. Cylinder number 1 turning off, and that's the injector back on again. Turn cylinder 2 off. Here it's dropped. Back on again, it's working again. Cylinder number 3. That's quite bad. That doesn't like being turned off. It's back on again. Cylinder number 4, this is the one that's complaining. No change at all. Back on again. Yeah, no change at all. So number 5. Yeah, drop down. Back on again. And number 6. Yeah, really rough. Back on again. That's really rough because there's actually 2 cylinders not working, which is number 4 and number 6. So just do that number 4 again. Almost gets slightly better with number 4 off. Rev it up. Yeah, still got a misfire. Back on again. Yeah. Alright. So, just show you what I'm doing. So that's cylinder number 4 cut out, and it's no change whatsoever. Back on again, and that's it. So number 4 is definitely faulty, and you can see that, you can prove that by turning it off and on again. So that is the fault that we've got. So the misfire that I saw last time, whilst there is a different code, there is still a misfire, which either they'd fixed it and it's now another fault, or they fixed one fault but still haven't fixed the misfire. Either or, it's still got a problem. So there you go. Cylinder number 4 is not working. Now the other issue on this was the transmission. So you can see on here we've got an MR fault. Trouble with Mercedes is they never told you what the fault was. They just give you the silly codes. So let's just have a look at the transmission. So here it is. Here's the transmission. I've just pulled the boot up out the way. The boot doesn't stay into here, and I believe it doesn't stay in because of how much play there is. So you see that play? That play is all in the linkages. Now, some of the linkages were loose on the transmission last time, but you need to change the faulty joints. There's a couple of joints on there that's got not a lot of play, probably about that much play, but with a lever, a little bit of play at the bottom means up here it gives us that much play. So to get reverse gear on this, that's first gear, and you can look how close you've got to the cab. So this is solid, this is the cab here. So, and I should say you've got first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then a high and low between on each gear. So reverse gear is all the way over and backwards. So you can see here we're all ready to get first gear, but that far away from the cab. We should only be about that far, but the whole movement of this transmission should be about that much, if that. So if I go across to get reverse gear, I've got to push it all the way over and then backwards, and that just gets reverse, and that's really hard to put across and backwards. If I can give you a slightly different point of view here, so trying to use another hand, see it's hitting the cab, and that's how to get reverse gear. So you can see if this boot was actually in here, it's going to hit the cab, like it's going to be in the way, like you won't actually be able to get it. So to get the gear, you have to have the boot out because there's so much play. Look at it, there's so much play in it. So let me just run through these gears and I'll show you what we've got. So all the way across and forwards, that's first gear. And again, look how much play there is. Back, okay, that's second gear. Third gear is somewhere around here. It's either there or there. That's third gear. Back. Fourth gear. Now, you see again, sixth gear is almost on the cab. Almost. That's fifth gear, so fifth and sixth, I should say. And that's sixth gear. Alright, I reckon in there might be a couple of joints that are a bit tight too. And that'll be why some of this is a little bit tight to move at the same time. But so show you once again, go into that reverse gear, you can see it down there. Alright, all the way over, it's on the cab and back, and that is so hard to push in there. It's possible, but it's definitely not possible with that in there. So anyway, they're the two faults. They still exist. The workshop that these have gone to, if you want to make this good gear, good to drive, fix the transmission. It's not the transmission, sorry. Fix the linkage. It's really not that hard. Fix the joint, all that will disappear, and this will be a nice truck to drive. All right, so let me just pop that back into neutral so that I don't forget. And what I'm going to do is I'll show you underneath the linkages not moving. All right, so just bear with me. I've got to get somebody to actually put this up. So this is the second time that I've got someone to do this. I've got just to wiggle the free play that's in it. So as you can see at the back there, you can see the amount of play that's actually in the linkages. On the left hand side, it transfers over to this linkage. You can see there's a very small amount of play in here now that's moving. Now earlier when I got someone else to do it, there was almost no play, or there's no movement at all. So yeah, that's what's going on with the linkage.